Strike while the iron's hot, right? What else can we talk about? How about we look back on Doom Eternal's platforming? There's a notable absence of platforming in the trailer for Doom the Dark Ages, so let's ask the question, did the platforming in Doom Eternal suck? For some of you, it's a simple case of saying yes and moving on, but I want to talk about the true function of platforming in Doom Eternal and what a lot of critics of it have completely missed. Doom Eternal, by design, has moments that encourage you or occasionally even force you to do a certain thing as a way to get you familiar with it, to get it in your system so you have it in your memory to be used as an option later. And this was done because id Software knew that a huge portion of the audience was going to be made up of people who were entirely unfamiliar with the concepts being presented. Active resource management, disabling enemy weapons, air dashing. So they explicitly tell you about things like the weak point system, so you know that's an option. You don't have to do it, but it can be helpful. They put you in a tutorial stage that makes you use the flame belch a few times so you actually see how it works and how it benefits you. There was a lot to learn in a short amount of time, and a huge part of being able to handle yourself in combat is having control over your movement. You can't expect everyone to quickly figure out such an alien way of playing a shooter without some kind of guidance, and that's what the platforming is for. It's not just there as a pace breaker, though it is that as well. Instead of just walking down another corridor or taking another elevator, jump around hazards and following platforms and timed gates. It may not have been to everyone's tastes, and that's fine, you don't have to like it, but it was very old school and arcadey. It brought back some of those Final Doom moments where some of the levels had platforming sections, which people tend to forget. Platforming has always been a part of Doom. I mean, look at this. Remember this? Doom 2's The Chasm had you balancing on rails above toxic waste. If they'd had the technology to do it, I bet there would have been even more platforming involved in the original games. But Doom Eternal's platforming was more than just part of the level design or stage filler. It taught you practical and necessary combat skills, especially in the first levels, and no one ever talks about this. Let's look at the first challenge, the bars in Exultia. You can't cross these until you get the double dash, and once you do, it's easy to just start mashing them out. Dash twice whenever an enemy gets close to you in a panic. You're quickly put into an arena that has electricity hazards on the ground, so using the dash will not only keep you out of them, but dashing out of the hazards will get you out quicker. You're also faced with a Hell Knight who previously was way faster than you. Now you learn the importance of the dash as a tool to keep your distance from him. And once you learn those lessons, now you're able to tackle the bars challenge, which teaches you the next lesson, dash spacing. Some of you won't believe me when I say it, but there are people who really struggled to get across these bars, and we shouldn't judge them either. They're here to learn, and we should support that. This challenge is here to help you find the muscle coordination and patience to time your dashes and allow you to reach long distances. If you panic mash out the dash, you'll fall over and over until you get it. Some players will simply focus and learn, and some will go crying about how platforming ruined the game. But this is teaching a very valuable skill. Dash spacing extends your airtime during combat. Dash spacing allows you to reach a faraway glory kill. Dash spacing can help you reach that ledge and escape certain death. Exultia is the map that starts throwing arena encounters at you that involve platforms and hazards, and a lot of verticality. And some new players are going to struggle with it until they learn the skills. To further push their skills, they're put on a falling platforming section that tests their ability to quickly navigate space while jumping, as well as using dashes to correct their trajectory if they go too far. This is something that happens all the time in combat, and you need to be able to do it if you're going to make it through the fights. The next level contains more of these exercises that reflect actual combat situations in their design. Shooting a target and then making it across a chasm, falling down to a jump pad, flying in the air and hitting a precision shot before landing. And one of the tougher challenges for some people to get through, I've seen it myself, dashing across to a monkey bar, using it to spin around 180 degrees, and then quickly dash back. These exercises are not just here to break up the pace of frantic combat. They are teaching real combat and movement skills. Suddenly you're moving better in arena fights without even realizing it. It's because the levels got you to practice through platforming. That's why I think the platforming is good in Doom Eternal, in addition to also just finding it a fun addition between the action. I mean, come on, you're gonna get upset about jumping onto a bar, shooting a target, and flying across the level? That's awesome, what's wrong with you? Jokes aside, I'm not here to tell you you're wrong for disliking the platforming. If you think spinning fire poles and monkey bars are stupid, I won't be able to convince you otherwise. We all like different stuff. I think it's fun to jump across falling platforms. I think it's fun to get flung across the map through heavenly portals. I like hopping across the debris of a planet in space while taking in the amazing view. You don't have to like it, but I figured I would at least try to show off the design side of things, and how the platforming sections, at times, are quite helpful in guiding the habits of new players, in a way that a simple tutorial message wouldn't be. And I think the existence of these exercises had a real impact on some players' ability to adapt to the combat early on. I'm not going to pretend it's all perfect. I think the platforming in level 4, Doom Hunter Base, is excessive. But there are still good combat lessons to be learned. Navigating through hazards while in the air absolutely applies to the type of movement you'll be using to avoid projectiles in combat. But yeah, is it a little too much? Yeah, I guess, occasionally. But it all goes by so quickly, and I don't think I would prefer just running on the ground instead. So yeah, I think Doom Eternal is a game made better overall by the inclusion of platforming, especially as a tool to guide new players into the combat skills they'll need to survive. Thanks for watching. Maybe I'll do another one of these looks back on Doom Eternal as we're waiting for the Dark Ages. Would you guys be interested in that? I don't want to force it and just pump out a bunch of regurgitated Doom stuff for the algorithm, but if there's a topic I'm genuinely interested in exploring again, and there's an audience for it, why not? If you're new to the channel, I have a bunch of old Doom stuff you can check out, or take a look at all my survival horror stuff, or my RoboCop coverage. Later.